Raiders, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we are on the test server. We have access to Alien Predator. Now, I've done a video on Predator already, and I'm not too impressed with it, okay? I feel like the main champion that everybody should be excited for is the free champion, Alien, aka Xenomorph, the 7-day login champion. And I think this champion, not only it looks absolutely sick, I might be a bit too excited because I've always been a huge fan of the IP, right? But the animations are just so freaking sick on this champion. Plarium did a crazy good ad for this collaboration as well, and I'm pretty excited. I don't know, I'm pretty excited. I'm like a happy kid, you know, when you give him a big bucket of candy. But either way, I think this one is a very good champion. Now, I do not think that is a broken champion that will just absolutely destroy PvE, PvP, or anything like that. But for a free 7-day login champion, I think it can be a very, very nice one. Either way, if you enjoy the content, do me a favor, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. It really, really helps a lot. The base stats on the champion are actually pretty good. We have 17,000 HP. The attack could be a bit higher, but we do have 1,300. If it was somewhere at like 1,400, 1,500, it would have been much better. 1,000 defense, 102 base speed, 15 crit, 63 crit damage. We have some resistance and some accuracy. Now, some of the debuffs are conditional. They can be unresistible. Some of them will require accuracy. So giving this champion some accuracy is definitely not a bad idea whatsoever. With A1, attacks one enemy with tail stab, places a poison debuff for 2 turns, and places 3 poisons instead if this attack is critical. Also, places a perfect veil buff on the champion for 2 turns. Whenever I'm seeing him in action with animations and stuff, I feel like I'm watching the movie. I don't know why. Then you have the infestation skill, which brings a brand new debuff to the table. Attacks one enemy. Before attacking, places a stun debuff and an infest debuff on the target for 2 turns. Straight off the back, a good stun for 2 turns. Amazing. Then you have the infest. These debuffs cannot be resisted if the champion is under a perfect veil. You see, on the A1, you need accuracy. On the A2, if you're under a perfect veil, you do not need accuracy anymore. Places True Fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. This debuff cannot be resisted if this champion is under a perfect veil. And this skill has a passive effect, revives this champion with 50% HP and turn meter whenever an enemy under an infest debuff dies. Not gonna lie, this was something that was extremely hard to kind of like test and put together to make him die, revive with this condition and stuff, but we can definitely play around with it. Then you have the A3, Rip and Claw, attacks one enemy twice, deals 15% more damage for each poison on the target. The more poisons you stack on an enemy, the more damage you're going to do. Also, will place a perfect veil buff on this champion for 2 turns. Now, you need a total of 3 books in here. You need a total of 2 books in here. And a total of 3 books in here. 8 books. Then you have the passive, which requires 2 more, which means you need 10 of them. Caustic Blood, whenever this champion is attacked, has a chance of placing a poison debuff on the attacker for 2 turns. Fully booked, that will be a 50% chance. And this debuff cannot be resisted or blocked if the attack is critical. And that means if the enemy attacks you with a crit hit, because you're not going to attack with this, right? Then, if an enemy is under a poison debuff placed by this champion, it will decrease their defense by 20%. The more poisons in, the more damage you're going to do with this skill as well. And substantially a lot of damage, because it's 15% for each poison. Let's just say you put in defense down, weaken, and then you just stack up a lot of poisons. I mean, 7 poisons is going to be, what, 105% more damage, right? If my math is is not bad. Something like that. So that's pretty good. Now let's quickly talk a bit about Infest. What is Infest doing? Whenever an enemy under an Infest debuff dies, deals pure damage to all other alive enemies. Which means that this debuff is enough to be placed on one target as long as you are killing that one target. The pure damage is equal to 50% of the enemy's max HP who died while under the Infest debuff. This means one thing and one thing only. You always put this debuff on the target with the highest HP and you're killing that target first to have a massive damage output on the rest of the enemies. If you're attacking and landing this debuff on a character that has the lowest HP, you're gonna do a very small amount of damage to the other characters. But I'm gonna show you the difference. I'm gonna show you exactly how this works. This pure damage cannot be critical. It really doesn't matter because it can be crazy. And the pure damage dealt upon killing a boss or their minions cannot exceed more than 10% of their max HP, which is going to work pretty similar with an enemy max HP hit. But for whatever reason, it feels a bit more underwhelming if we're comparing it with an enemy max HP hit. That being said, let's quickly go over the build. I do not have a soul at the moment. What I'm gonna do, I'm just quickly gonna put one of them, the 5-star, because that's something that we're gonna get for free. I'm not going to activate it, okay? So we're not gonna gain any additional stats. Here we are. You see no blessing active, no additional stats. But I have Xenomorph, aka Alien. I cannot call him Xenomorph. I have him built on a Merciless set. Then I have one of the Killstroke, and I have a Feral piece as well to give me some accuracy without actually having to go too crazy. Now, the build that I currently have on is not that crazy. I do have slightly higher crit damage than usual, but the attack is really on the low side, okay? And we are going to change that once we're going to apply the blessing. Another thing to keep in mind why this attack is on the low side is the fact that this character only has 1365 base attack, which makes it pretty hard to stack 9k attack on it or something like that, right? But no empowerment, no blessing. In fact, I have no idea who empowers this champion, and we are going to check that after. But the whole idea is that we are going to beef up the stats later. 6.4k attack, 244 speed, full crit, 294 crit damage, almost 300 accuracy. And I'm gonna glyph some of the gear. I'm gonna try to get in some more attack on it. This is kind of crap. I'm just gonna put in glyphs. That should take me close to 7k attack. With the blessing, I'm definitely gonna be well over that, right? But I'm not gonna put it on yet. I do not have a relic at the moment and no blessing. Masteries, we have offense and support. You definitely want to get Master Hexer. This extends the duration of all of the debuffs that it brings. There's no point to go for lasting gifts because the A1, the A3, it will give you the perfect veil. You're never going to run out of it, okay? So getting lasting gifts is a bit of a waste in my opinion. And then we have Helm Smasher as tier 6. But let's quickly head into the dungeon. Let's see the animations. Then we're going to give him a blessing. We're going to beef him up a bit. I just quickly want to show you how freaking amazing the animations actually are. So we're going to go on stage 10 hard mode as usual. We're not going to do that or that or that. I'm just going to bring in an arbiter, right? So like this, we have everything that we need. We have the defense down, weaken, increase attack. And the main thing, we want to check the animations right now because they are so freaking cool. Just check this out. Let's start with the A2 animation. And I'm going to put it at an enemy that's farther away so you can actually see it better. Look at that. How cool is that? Huh? You're just sending that onto the enemy. And look at the damage. From one skill, look at the damage. We almost one-shot it with these stats. No blessing, no relic. Very good damage as well. But the animation is just absolutely golden. Literally something that you would see in the damn movie. Okay, really, really cool. Really cool. Now, if we're going to go with the A3, so this is the other attack. Let's go versus Liburga because we have a better field of view. So that kind of reminds me a bit of Brackus. I don't think they went too in-depth in that animation personally, but the first one is really cool. Really, really cool. And you're going to see the A1 animation as well in a second. There we go. So look at the A1 animation. Let's go versus Venus. Look at that. Look at the tail. That's so cool, huh? Really, really cool. So very good animations. Pretty damn good damage considering that we don't have anything too crazy in here, right? Now, let me just quickly show you some magic. Let me just show you what it means to use that Infest debuff. And I think you're going to like this. I think you're going to like this. So check it out. If we're going to go and apply that on a target that has the highest HP, we all know on this wave, the highest HP is Venus. Okay. So we're going to input Infest on Venus. You see, we barely scratch her comparing it with the other champion that we hit before. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to kill that Venus. Okay. So pay attention. Venus is going to die. And look at the rest. You saw that damage? You saw that damage? That is literally coming from the Infest debuff. Tell me that that is not freaking insane in terms of damage numbers. Like, it's almost one-shotting them. In fact, it does have the potential to one-shot most of them. As long as you are getting everything right. And usually, we can make it happen. The one character that will survive is going to be Liburga. Now, check this out. Look what's going to happen if we are attacking an enemy with low HP. If by any chance you are going to use this character in Arena, you're going to want to put that Infest debuff on their tankiest support character. And when I mean tanky, not high defense, the higher the HP, the better, okay? So we're going to attack this enemy right here. And we basically put in a decent amount of damage, but we have the Infest debuff, right? So now, with Little Miss Annie, I'm going to kill that target. And look at the damage on the rest. You see? Look at Chagur. Almost around 40+% HP left on Chagur, more than 50% on Venus, because we attacked an enemy with low HP. Now, one thing that I'm very curious to see is if I am bringing in some poisons, right? Is that somehow going to benefit me more or is not? So let's bring in Tomb Lord. Hopefully he is faster. Let me just quickly check that. Yep. So we can land some poisons like this. I'm curious if with those poisons, we're going to have enough to basically one-shot everybody. So again, I'm going to attack Venus, right? I'm going to put poisons on everybody. I'm going to put the debuff on Venus. Now, whenever we have poisons on, we will drop the defense on the enemies by 20%. This debuff already deals true damage, okay? So dropping that defense will be pretty irrelevant. But let's see if by any chance is a better interaction somehow. Nasty. So, as usual, Liburga is alive. But other than that, I think this works amazing. Like, the damage from that Infest debuff is just so disgusting. Honestly, it's just so disgusting. Like, it's just wiping the rest of the enemies off. And we're going to try this character in PvP as well. What I want to show you is basically how well it will perform versus a boss as well, right? So we're going to back out of here. And we're going to try to build up a team that will bring in a lot of poisons. So I already have 1, 2, 3. I have some from there, 6. I don't really need more than that, but just in case, I'm going to bring in Eurogrim, so we have some additional support. And I'm gonna bring in a Duchess. Just to give me the increased attack, right? Actually, my Duchess is too slow. Not this Duchess. Let me just get rid of Duchess. Let me get rid of Duchess and bring in... What about Raglan? How fast is she? 317. Yeah, let's go with Raglan. Let's go with Raglan. That's gonna work good. We can put a speed aura too. Thing is, I don't want to sleep in here. I want to kill the enemies as fast as possible too, right? So we're gonna do that after. So let's put poisons. Defense down and weaken. I mean, more poisons. Why not? 2, 4, 6, 8. Stun, infest on Venus. I'm gonna boost this, give the increased attack. Gonna try to manipulate a bit the thermometer on them, because I do need to move on to the next wave. The main question is how much damage we're gonna deal with the A3, especially on the boss, right? That's something that I'm curious. The more poisons, the more damage. Let's see the first hit. 196, 216. We kill the rest. It's just crazy. Is a really cool debuff. Is a really cool debuff, that one. Now we can crack on with it versus the next wave. Let's put some poisons. That will just enable us to do more damage. More poisons. Let me just make sure I'm putting block active skills on that one. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. No, we're gonna go versus Venus. So we've put the infest, the stun. I'm just gonna need Lydia to get the job done as well, and then slowly kill that Venus. Come on, Lydia. What are you waiting for? Defense down and weaken. We do have the True Fear as well to help us with the control. Get an increased attack. And now we're gonna attack that Venus. We have quite a few poisons. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So that's 60% more damage with this skill. 183, 181. We almost killed her. We are gonna kill her pretty damn quick now. And just watch the magic. Look at that. It's just crazy how they fall the other characters, right? They're just going down with the infest. And you only really need to have the infest debuff on one target. Now you can spread it, and then we're actually gonna see if it makes much of a difference in terms of, like, is Daliburga still gonna stay alive or not? We're gonna try that in a second. Now what I want to see is basically the damage versus the boss. I would prefer to do it with poisons and without, but that's gonna be a bit harder. So there's not really a big reason to use this skill on the boss, because it's not gonna do much. I would rather just use the A1. So we've put 3 poisons. There we go. Decrease attack to make sure we're staying alive. A big cleanse. Get a heal. No weaken. A weaken would be nice, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have room for it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We should be able to put it in. Perfect. And I have increased attack. That poison sensitivity and the block buffs are messing me up a bit, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 poisons only. But that's fine. 260, 379k hit on the boss. That's actually really good. Now, if we are talking about Alien, where is this champion useful progression-wise, mid-game, late game? I think is a very fun champion across pretty much all of the content. I think you can use this champion in the clan boss. I think you can get a pretty good result from that as well. We're going to try the champion in the clan boss too. Nothing too crazy in terms of a team, but we are going to give it a go and see how it performs. And if you are early game, mid game, yeah, I think 100% the champion will help you in there with all of the poisons, the additional damage that the champion can deal versus enemies under poisons. And that's about it. Now, the main thing is worth booking up this champion progression-wise just for the clan boss. Is this gonna make the huge difference that I need to get a 1 key on Ultra Nightmare? Probably not. You still need the glue that keeps the team together. I think both of these champions are kind of like more of fun, collectible champions rather than game-changing. But out of the two of them, this is This is the one, the creme de la creme. Really, really solid. Now, you've seen the build that we had on the champion. You've seen what you can do with the Infest debuff. Really, really strong. I'm going to try to show you something. Let's just attempt to do a speedrun team. The only problem in here is the fact that you will need to target the enemy. Because if not, this will basically attack the enemy with the lowest HP, which kind of sucks. It's really not a great thing. Especially if you're planning to speedrun or anything like that, that's really not going to be very helpful at all, right? How is that going to help you if you need to target a character? So it kind of sucks that it's not targeting with the A2 the enemy with the highest HP, considering that his whole magic is related to dealing damage based on that target's max HP with the Infest debuff. I think it could be much better if they would prioritize the AI to do that with the second skill. You could do speedruns then, literally. A bit hardish to make it work, because you've seen we had a couple of characters staying alive on the second wave. We had one character on the first wave. But even with that being taken into consideration, the good thing is that you don't need crazy stats on Alien to do that, because the debuff is just one-shotting the other enemies, because we are attacking Venus, who has a very crazy high HP on this stage. And that will work the same versus all of the wave content. Now, if you're going to use this champion versus the Ice Golem, pretty relevant. The poisons won't really help you in there. So I'm not a big fan of the whole idea. Not a Fire Knight champion, in my opinion, either. You could use it maybe versus some Doom Tower bosses and stuff. But we're going to try to do a couple of different things as well. So that's how you could run a team with Xenomorph and get it done. Not extremely fast, but still 51 turns, 6.5 million damage. One thing that I quickly want to check is actually, where is my Mikey and how fast are you? 222. Perfect. I want to see if we spread the Infest debuff, if the damage will get multiplied to all of the living ones from all of the ones that are dying, even though they're dying at the same time. Does that make sense to you guys? Hopefully it does. I want to see if that just adds up. So we're going to go on to Venus. We're going to spread the debuff, right? So everybody has the Infest debuff right now. And the next thing that I'm planning to do right here is to kill that Venus. And we're going to see if it's enough. Yes, yes, you've seen exactly how that works. If you have the debuff on everybody, I think that would be really, really, really OP. It's nice that you can spread it. I think for Arena, it's almost like bombs. It's literally almost like bombs, right? Let me do a rinse and repeat. You've seen just the ticks. Bang, bang, dead. Bang, 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 dead. Bang, 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 dead. The more enemies they die under the debuff, the more 50% 50% max HP damage triggers onto the other ones, which is actually pretty damn good. Now, this might be a long video, guys. There isn't much that I can do about it. There's just a lot of stuff to basically test out with the champion. So we have the Infest on everybody, and let's put it back into action once again. So we're gonna kill that Venus at the end. Come on, alien. Just take her down. Look at that. One down. One exploded. Another one exploded. That's cool. That's really, really cool. How you're just wiping them off. That could be another very solid strategy. What I want to do right now is go in and basically just give this champion a blessing. I think one of the best blessings, in my opinion, is going to be Nature's Wrath up to 5-star, because you're landing a lot of debuffs. then moving to Crushing Rend can be really, really good. But we're going to go with Nature's Rat. It won't really help us much in PvP, but we are gaining additional stats now. What I'm going to do right now to make sure we are going to be up for the job in PvP, we're going to give this champion some additional stats. I wish I would have done Clan Boss before, but now it's a bit too late because I've already put a blessing. But we're going to go in the Clan Boss. Everybody's going to get a blessing for free anyway. It's a 5-star blessing that you're going to get for free. Come on, give me attack. Give me attack, I said. Attack! Finally. I was going to say, what the heck? What the heck are you doing, game? And give me attack here as well. Or accuracy, but attack would be better. Because I already have loads of accuracy. Actually, for PvP, you will need more accuracy because if you're going versus an enemy that has high resistance and high HP, but usually whoever has the highest resistance won't have the highest HP. It's a bit unusual because you cannot stack stupid high HP on most of them, unless it's kind of like a hybrid mix. My god, what is that attack, man? There we go. And I'm not going to put the champion on a stone skin or anything like that. We're going to keep it as it is. So we have 7,600 attack, 332 crit damage. Much better in terms of the attack. We have some good speed on. No relic. I could go for a relic, but honestly, I can't really see that many that would be helpful for PvP except running one to counter polymorph like the wand and the crowd control, or running one of these for the poisons on the A1, right? And the passive. This could potentially be really good as well. So let's run one of these two. Only gonna take it to level 12 and I'll keep it like that. It's more than enough. And the thing with the blessing, I could give her a different blessing, which will be more helpful for PvP, but you will really not get any juice out of it in PvE. If we're going for what is it? Where is the blessing? If we're going for this one, right? The little dose. Good for PvP, but not for PvE. I could give her this actually, because we are going in a PvP, and we do clan boss at the end. Yeah, okay. So let's give her little dose. Give him, her, whatever. Give the alien, whatever they might be. So much better stats. Much better stats. No need to change anything in here. Let's see if we can pull more or less the same things in here. Very, very, very curious. And I'm curious if it will trigger the passive on Leonardo. So what I'm gonna do... Suzanne. I need an increased accuracy though. I feel like I don't have enough accuracy on her. So maybe, just maybe, on her. Why am I keep saying on her, man? Like, what the heck? I don't have enough accuracy on the damn alien. Keep it like that. Let's see. An accuracy one. I don't have one from the right side, though. I need one with attack. Even though I'm dropping some attack. And I could drop some crit damage, maybe. Ah, seriously? Not even one with attack? Okay. I'm gonna drop some crit damage. I'm not really gonna gain attack for it, but that's fine. Let's see. Crit damage it is. Crit damage we shall keep then. What I could do is get an attack on this one. Is 80 more attack, so why not? Just because of the accuracy banner, right? Hello? There we go. And that should put us in a much better spot. I'm just going to waste some glyphs because I'm on the test server. It doesn't matter. I just want to make sure we are able to squeeze the best out of it, right? To have enough accuracy and to don't be too busted on the attack side. Okay, now that should look much better now. Still good attack, much better accuracy, good crit damage, good speed. Here we come, PvP. I will take a Gyalotyranum. No, I'm not going to take a Gyalotyr. I was going to say I'm going to take somebody else for damage. Because I do need somebody else for damage. I'm just thinking who should I take in? Somebody that deals single target damage. I don't want somebody with AoE. Somebody that will just deal some single target damage and call it a day. I'm gonna bring him in and I'm just gonna use the first form for the damage. Okay, let's see. So we have some stone skin. Kind of need to think about that part too. How am I gonna break this? How is it gonna go through the stone skin actually? Is that a thing? Is not a thing? So we got resisted, even though we had plenty of accuracy. Okay, let's back out of here. Let's try to find a different team that might not have so much resistance. Or I'm just gonna use an increased accuracy. Instead of her, that Odin might cut on me though. I'm gonna go like this. Let's see. And we can see what happens to the stone skin too. So Siphi has the highest HP. It's crystal clear. Okay, so we have that on. The thing is, I need the veil on the champion before I can use this skill. But I want to open with this skill. If I'm going to apply the veil directly, I don't need accuracy, right? That cannot be resisted. But that will make my life difficult. How am I going to bring that veil onto the champion, right? So that is a bit of a problem. Now, what I'm going to try to do right now is use this skill to see if I can kill Siphi. Okay, so versus Stone Skin, it still brings in damage reduction. Versus Odin, we dropped only 50% of his HP. So I have a feeling that it won't be as great in PvP as it is in PvE. I just have that feeling. I might be wrong, but I think it won't be as funky as it was in PvE. Because the enemies won't have such a crazy high HP and all that. So poison, 38, 47. Now we have a veil on. Let's do that. That's fine. Shame that we did not manage to land an infest on there, right? That would have been really cool. Oh damn, he put unkillable. Like a full party here. Unkillable versus block damage. I'm gonna let him fight out quick. And I'm gonna try to see what other team I can find to test it a bit better for PvP. But it doesn't seem like it's gonna be as funky in here. Nice. What the heck are you doing, bro? How does he still have that unkillable on? Just goddamn kill him. My goodness. 5 hours for an unkillable for 2 turns. That Marichka might have high HP. But there's no way in hell. There is no way in hell I'm gonna kill this team with this team. There is literally no freaking way in hell. I need something to do some single target damage, man. But good damage. I think she's missing gear. No, she's not. But she's so freaking slow. I'll risk it. I don't think I'm gonna go in front. What I can try is to see if I can spread the debuff. But the problem is they're gonna have stone skin. They're gonna have immunity. So this as a strategy, it really doesn't work. Especially versus a team like this. Like right now, I can't really do much. And they're gonna use AoE attacks. My freaking alien is gonna die. You get me? Stone skin everywhere. Yeah, there isn't much that I can do here. Maybe try and keep her alive with a nice or something. So now you don't need resistance. Unfortunately, we killed that Marichka, which is pretty damn crazy. We did not manage to land the debuff, which is a bit of a problem because that was the whole idea of it. To land the debuff so we can actually see it in action after. Block buffs. Weak hits. Block revive. Some HP burn on you. That's fine, that's fine. Oh, okay, block damage. We're not gonna ignore the block damage, so probably we're gonna lose this fight because of it. Yeah, I think this is very hard to use in PvP. Especially versus a team like this. Especially versus a team like this. Siegfried is gonna come back to life now, and he's gonna whoop our bum probably here. I think the best call for me is to put a block revive on that, sorry. Gonna kill that Siegfried again if we can. Yeah, that's it. GG's. There isn't much that I can do in here. It's just very, very hard to deal with a team like this. And if they're not gonna be loaded with crazy high HP, nothing is really gonna happen, right? We're not really gonna do a lot of work versus them. I could try versus this, maybe. Let's just say Ambris has the highest HP. Thankfully, they don't have crazy speed requirements or anything like that. I can just bring in, for example, Sulfurion. The final try here for PvP, guys. Thinking about it, the more I think about it, the harder it is to make it work. Yeah, so Duchess has high HP, but so does Ambris. The problem is, are we gonna kill Ambris? Are we not? You see what happened right there? Basically, the wand reflected the stun back onto us. And because of it, the infest debuff did not land anymore. It just got cut in front. I could go for that Duchess instead, maybe. Okay, so we have the infest, we have the fear. Let's see if we kill the Duchess. $48,000. So that's 50% of her HP, more or less. Not enough to kill all of them, right? And that's why it's really, really hard to make it work in PvP. Unlike in PvE where there's crazy HP. But I think for fun, you can definitely try the champion in here, right? If we go to the clan boss, I'm not even sure what team I have in here. Spirit Affinity, that's fine. I'm trying to think, how can I fit that champion in here? I mean, I'll just drop you out. You won't have increased attack though, so that's gonna be a bit of a problem. Shall we try without that? Without increased attack. Let's see. We're just gonna let him run wild. 79, 94. Loading as many debuffs as possible. I don't have an unkillable team prepared for it. Like a double man-eater. But even with the double man-eater, it would be really hard. We have plenty of poisons in here. Tons of debuffs. And I have crazy high stats. I don't need to give that increased attack because it will become a bit more unrealistic for a lot of you guys. Like this, at least, without having that increased attack, you'll know what to expect, right? 300k per hit, decent. I would only bother with this in the team if I'm talking about progression and stuff like that. That was a 245k from the A1, and we had the defense down and the weaken. We are going to reduce the defense on the clan boss. The only one problem versus the clan boss is the fact that it has a very low defense anyway. It just has very high HP. And because of it, effects like ignore defense and all that stuff, it won't really do much of a difference. And one thing that I have different on the character as well, the blessing is not going to work in here. And the relic is not that impactful versus the clan boss, right? But once again, the stats are pretty damn crazy. And if I'm going to just beef up everything on the champion, it's just going to make it feel way too unrealistic, right? But what I'm going to do, I'm going to back out of here. We've seen the numbers, kind of like an idea, and I'm going to do a full stimulation one. Why are you missing gear, Halborn Sprite? Okay, because you are missing gear, something is off here. Let's see. Let me just quickly put some random gear on this champion. There we go, and I need a reflex helmet. I don't even remember moving gear from this. Super weird. Super weird. And because of it, maybe it caused our team to die faster because we're not putting that shield up fast enough. We're not increasing the duration. Or, oh, actually, that's the whole damage. Turn limit count. We reached the turn limit count. So we have Xenomorph, 132 million damage. I mean, is alright, but not great. Right? This team will go pretty damn fast on a 2-to-1 ratio without a problem. We have all of the buffs, debuffs required to do so. Yeah, progression-wise, I mean, I wouldn't book the champion just for clan boss, FYI. I would book the champion to have fun, because even though it is the better out of the two of them, I think for PvP is hard to bring that infest debuff to the table. For PvE is nice if you like to manual stuff and have fun. Either way, that was all for this video because I feel like I have been talking about Alien for the last 5 hours. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As usual, much love, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.